respect around the ATL. Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect. This is ATL, you know we stay lit. Always united, check the new kit. Home of the brave, yeah, we on deck. We fly like a bird, like them hawks, check. Soaring through the city, rise up, dirty birds. All we do is win, losing's a dirty word. Selling out them seats, the city is on blast. Gotta get your tickets cause they selling out fast.
What's going on, everyone? This is Chris around the ATL. It is Thursday, January 15th, and happy to be on. The only reason this is happening is because I know tomorrow I don't have to go to work early. So that's what's been going on lately, everybody. I've been working a lot of hours lately. It's been quite exhausting. Well, I said that I was going to get a couple of episodes in, and here's the first of a two-part series in regards to a particular occurrence that's happened in the NBA. Trae Young traded. What is next? Okay. So tonight I'm going to concentrate not on right now, but the past, because there is context to everything, facts and figures and all kind of good stuff. So I'm going to do a little bit of this season, a little bit of 2024 season, and then a little bit of 2018 and up. I'm not going to do all of it tonight. I'm going to save some for the second part of the series, which hopefully will be Saturday. But I want everyone, when you watch this, whenever it is, you take the time, I just want you to think about what you've seen, what you've heard, and then try to put two and two together and see, does it make any sense? As far as just basketball, nothing else, just pure basketball. Not that it makes sense that Trae was traded or not or anything like that, but the circumstances that led up to that doesn't make sense. That's all. No big deal. Now, that being said, let's get started. So again, the Atlanta Hawks traded Trae Young away recently, and there's a lot of people who've never watched the Atlanta Hawks game before. And there's a lot of people who are, saying a lot of different things. I do want to address some of that, okay? Because a lot of people make assumptions. They see a score and they say something, or they think it, right? But they don't know what actually happened in the game. Now, some people don't care what happened in the game. We know that too, right? They look at the win-loss record, and again, they make an assumption, but they ignore they ignore everything that actually happened in the game. They ignore who actually played in the game. They ignore all of that, right? But why does that matter? Does it matter? Think about an engine. Whatever car you might be driving right now, or a boat that you've been in, or a yacht, I don't know, some of you might be balling out of control, an airplane that you've flown on, right? Anything that has an engine, a lawnmower, anything that has an engine, it can only run if it has all of its parts. It can only run properly, right? A few parts missing, all of a sudden it's doing this stuff, right? If you have more parts missing, it's not even starting, right? So think about a NASCAR team. The NASCAR team that wins regularly usually has this owner way up there doing really good stuff, right? Putting in the investment, picking the right people, the whole 9 yards, right? Then you have your management of that team, right? That does the right things, making the right calls. The communication is on point. Y'all see those guys running around that track. There's somebody on that headset saying, hey, or you got your spotters, all that kind of stuff, right? Then you got the pit crew. Without that pit crew, lickety split, tires on, off, gas, windshield, you've seen it. And then the driver, of course, all the way around that track a billion times, right? Can't make no mistakes. You make a mistake, you're in 17th place all of a sudden, right? All of those things have to happen to win in a race like that. What are the 5 things I've always been saying since really forever that you need 5 things to win in sports on a consistent basis. Number one, you have to have an owner that wants to win, does what's necessary to win, talks about winning all the time, like they're vocal about it. They're on TV or the internet, newspaper, magazines talking about winning a championship with the team that they purchased, right? Number two, management making wise decisions over a long period of time, not 3 months, not 1 year, half a decade, 10 years, right? Number three, you have to have a good to great coach. Can't have a mediocre coach, can't have an average coach. They have to be good at what they do and hopefully great. You have to have good to great players. Okay. Now, surrounding those good to great players, you have to have players that are consistent, right? And then you have to be healthy. Now, think about this. Since the 1960s, when the Atlanta Hawks became the Atlanta Hawks, from then till now, how many of those things have the Atlanta Hawks had? Count them off. At any given period of Hawks history, whether it be the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now, how many of those things have the Hawks had? Think about that for a little bit. Now, the reason I say that, here's how we know we didn't have them. Since the 60s, the Atlanta Hawks have 2 Eastern Conference Finals appearances and only 2 wins. 2. That's how we know we haven't had those things. It's very simple. There's only 2 teams that have made it out of the second round of the playoffs since the 60s. You sure it doesn't matter, right? There's people in the media that said, well, the Atlanta Hawks experienced success too fast. Trae Young experienced success too fast. Respectfully, what in the world does that mean? You're either going to win or you don't. But if you win too fast, then what? You're supposed to pull them back, get away from winning, stop winning, don't win ever again? Because technically that mindset it makes sense. Everything that's happened after 2020, it makes complete sense if that was actually the mindset of the ownership and management of the Atlanta Hawks since 2020. Everything that's been done since then makes complete sense. Oh, we won too fast, so we gotta dismantle this, we gotta sabotage this, we gotta throw some dirt. We can't let this happen. Not again. It's too soon. Have you ever heard about that? Have you ever heard that before? Just think about the essence of what that means. Instead of going out and saying, like other teams have done, hey, we were right on the cusp. We were right on the verge. We were right there on the edge. Let's go get that one player. Let's get that 1, 2, or 3 players that we need to finish this out, to get over the hump. That's not what the Hawks did, though. That's interesting. So what? Were you supposed to wait 10 years? Someone comes into the league and they get their team to almost the NBA Finals. Nah, you got to wait 8 more years to win now. Yeah, gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta wait your turn, right? Does that make sense, y'all? Do y'all like that? Because y'all were involved in that. We were 2 wins away. All we had to do is win 2 more games, and we're in the NBA Finals against the Phoenix Suns, right? Didn't happen, though, did it? Putting random players on a team with no rhyme or reason doesn't lead to success. The Atlanta Hawks are one of the primary examples of that through the decades, by the way, right? So before I officially begin, I just wanted to start off like that, but facts do matter. The complete story matters. Context matters. Someone on Twitter, I don't call it X, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Someone on Twitter had posted some time ago that In their last 6 games, the Hawks had a 103 defensive rating. And that was true. The Hawks are 4-2 in those games. That's also true. That's 6 games, right? 4-2. That is true. But what is also true, within that, they played the Pelicans. Not a good team. By any stretch of the imagination, that's not a good team. They also played the Nuggets without one of the best players of all time in the Joker. And Murray was not playing. And Gordon had just came back after being gone for a little bit. That is true. They played the Knicks. They were missing Cat, but everybody else was playing. So that was actually a real good win for the fact that Brunson was there, OG was there, Bridges was there, Hart, they were all there. They were just missing Cat. But Cat is a pretty big piece there, right? Then they lost to the Toronto Raptors back-to-back games and got blown out in both games. And right before that, they got blown out by OKC, gave up 140 points. And then to the Knicks, with Cat, gave up 128 points in that game. So again, full picture has a little bit of context to that, right? But besides all that, the Hawks were 17-14 without Trae Young on the floor this season. Now, the 17 wins are good. The 14 games, not so much. They didn't go undefeated in those games. There's 31 games, basically, up till whenever this recording happened. They didn't go 29-2. They didn't go 26-3. They didn't go 23-8. I believe if my math is correct. They lost 14 of those games. But do you realize you're supposed to go 500? You're supposed to be above 500, really, when you lose somebody on your team that's really good. Whether it be one player or 2 players, your goal is next man up. That's what teammates do. He's out. I got to do this. I talk about it all the time. If I go play Sunday, right, and this player is out, this player is usually the one who does this, that, and the third. Whoever's left now has to do a little bit more than what they usually would do on the court. I don't really shoot like I used to anymore. I let the young cats do whatever. I'm the post guy, but if that person goes out, I can shoot. I just don't shoot no more. I don't have no rhythm and shoot because I'm so used to not really taking shots. And in my head, I'm not shooting my team out the game. But I can hit an open jumper though. Especially if I get a little rhythm in me, right? So you're supposed to do that. For some reason, though, in Atlanta, it ain't supposed to be like that for some reason. It's really strange when you really think about it. Do you realize that 14 losses are 14 losses without that player on the court? Trae wasn't playing, okay? And I think people just ignore that for some reason. Because that's a lot of losses. It's not like it's like 5 losses. It's 14 losses, right? For example, on December 21st, the Atlanta Hawks gave up 152 points in the game, right? And this was a game that Trae did play, right? Hawks gave up 66 points in the paint, 15 second chance points, 26 fast break points, 23s given up. I reviewed this game shot for shot. Trae Young gave up 19 points in that game. 19. Not 152. He gave up 19. So who gave up the other 133 points? I'll tell you. Okongwu gave up 26. JJ gave up 25. And Dyson gave up 21. So he didn't give up the most points in this game. How? So you see what I'm saying? That's just a fact. He also didn't have the worst plus minus in that game either. Dyson actually did. Trae was actually +2 in that game. But who cares about that now, right? Who cares about plus and minus? We'll get to plus and minus a little bit later. Hawks also left 31 points on the board from missed shots created by Trae Young in that game in a 2-point loss. 14 of those points were in the third quarter, and 12 more or so was in the fourth, and they were all threes. There was 4 threes they missed in the fourth quarter in a 2-point loss. Passed it, He passed it. We missed. And Trae Young is blamed for the 31 points that we left on the board and the 66 points in the paint. He ain't the center. And all the 26 fast break points. He wasn't on the floor the whole night. So how do you account for all of that? That's a lot of points. We lost that game by 2, though. NAW, by the way, was 3 of 12 in that game for 9 points. He don't have no accountability for going 3 for 12 in that game, right? None. Dyson was 3 of 9. He had 8 points. By the way, JJ and Trae Young balled out in that game. We were told they can't play together, although we saw them play together the year before. Jalen was pacing to be an all-star, right? And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later with Dyson in them. But JJ shot 60% in that game. Trae shot 62% in that game. He was 7 of 9 from 3, 35 and 9. We lost that game. Oh, well, so his stats don't matter. Neither does JJ's then, right? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to say Trae's numbers don't matter, but neither does JJ's. In a 2-point loss. And he gave up more points than Trae did. Okongwu gave up more points than Trae did, right? Here is that game if you want to watch the review, if you care to. I'm going to post it in the comment section real quick. Hopefully I can remember how to do this. Hopefully it works. Let's see. Oh, I guess I need to post, let's see. Bulls versus Hawks, December 21st, 152 to 150. There we go. Y'all check that out whenever you get a chance. So, on December 23rd, the Hawks again lose to the same team, the Chicago Bulls, 126 to 123 this time. 3-point loss. In this game, Trae had 22 and 15. Again, he didn't have the worst plus minus in that game. NAW was minus 20. JJ was minus 14. Trae only had 1 turnover in that game. JJ had 5 turnovers. 3-point loss, right? Okongwu had 10 points. Zach had 10 points in that game. Whole team shot bad in this game, by the way, but only Trae was blamed in this loss. Luke was 1 of 4 from the floor, 0 of 3, right? But only one person is blamed. The Miami loss, 126 to 111. In that game, by the way, remember, he was on a minutes restriction starting off too, right? But anyway, Trae had 30 and 6 in that game. But again, I think this is the 4th game where Dyson and Zach combined for 14 points or less in the game. This time it's 13 points. Dyson had 8, Zach had 5. Again, Trae didn't have the worst plus minus in this game. He was minus 1. Okongwu was minus 15. Zach minus 18. Dyson minus 14. Okongwu was 5 of 16 from the floor for 12 points. Miami had 66 points in the paint, 22 fast break points. But Trae is blamed. He's the only one. No other player has nothing to do with the loss. They are on the floor literally losing together. But, you know, the next loss was the Knicks, 128 to 125. Francis says, so why can't Hawks keep both of them? I don't know. Francis. It doesn't matter now, but again, 2-part series. I'm going to talk about it in the next episode for sure. Now, this Knicks game, Trae didn't play this Knicks game. No, my fault. He didn't play well in this game. This was actually his last game, I believe, okay, as a Hawk, if I'm correct. He had 6 turnovers in that game. He only took 9 shots in that game. He had 10 assists, 2 steals. He did have the worst plus minus in this particular game. He was minus 13. JJ didn't shoot well in that game. Vit didn't shoot well. Zach only had 4 points. NAW was 5 of 12 from 3 in that game. Hawks gave up 52 points in the paint. Jalen didn't hit the 3. I think, let's see. What did I write? Jalen didn't hit the 3 to give the Knicks a lead. 121 to 1. It was tied 121 to 121. Oh, Jalen Brunson. Okay, so Jalen Brunson. I forgot there's another Jalen. My fault. So Jalen Brunson, he hit the 3 to break the 121 to 121 tie on NAW, not on Trae. There was a pick in that particular possession. Trae got back on his man. JJ actually picked up Trae's man. Trae hedged to JJ's man. All that was correct. NAW stayed on Brunson to defend Brunson. And Brunson hit a step back three on him. And we lost the game. Then the next game, OKC. JJ and Trae didn't play in that game. We lost that game 140 to 129. Then we beat the Wolves, we beat the Knicks, we lose to the Raptors twice, right? We then beat the Pelicans and we beat Denver without Joker and Murray. So the last time the Hawks missed Trae in several games, he missed 28 games in the 2023 season. We went 14-14 at that time. We didn't move up in the standings at all. This particular year, Trae returned. Hawks are already falling in the standings, if you remember. Some people don't. Some people just, but we were 7th when he returned. If you remember, his first game back, he played 20 minutes. They lost to the Charlotte Hornets. Okay. He didn't play in the Spurs game, which guess what? We gave up 126 points. We lost 126 to 98 in that game. Trae Young didn't play. Okongwu was 3 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3, minus 26 plus minus. JJ was minus 15, had 7 turnovers. Zach was minus 13. NAW 2 of 10 from 3, minus 27 and plus minus. Dyson 5 of 4. By the way, in that Lakers game, NAW was minus 37. No one cares, right? But anyway. Dyson was 5 of 14 from the floor, 0 of 5 from 3 against the Spurs in this game, minus 13 from plus and minus. Bit was minus 21, 1 of 5 from the floor. Luke, however, was 4 of 5 from the floor, but he was minus 15 in plus and minus. Asa was minus 14 in plus and minus. Spurs had 60 points in the paint, 24 fast break points, and Wemby didn't play in this game. Trae didn't play in that game. So explain all of those things happening, and Trae, who is the reason for everything bad since 2018, how do you explain that? Actually, wait, that is the game with Wemby. The game without Wemby, my bad. See, again, I'm catching up here. The game without Wemby, Dyson and ZR combined for 14 points in that game. 2 points he had in 21 minutes. Dyson had 8 points. NAW blew up for 38 points, though. JJ had 26 and Porzingis had 16. But again, the Spurs had 60 points in the paint, 19 fast break points, and the Hawks lost that game by 9. And that's all. Anyway, so the Hawks, remember, just got beat by the Lakers. I just told you about that. 141 to whatever their score was. They gave up 141 points. This is the third time the Hawks have given up 140 points without Trae on the floor, and no one can give me a reason of that. If Trae Young is that reason, anytime he doesn't play, this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't have a chance to happen. Ayton had 17 and 18 boards in that game. The Lakers shot 55% from 3 in that game. Like, explain that. No one can, though. All that being said, it's 14 losses, right? And if you just half of those losses, the Hawks are above 500. The Hawks are in the playoff hunt, right? If Trae Young has no value on this team, I want to give you a reminder a little bit of the rosters from 2018 and up. And remember, I've done some episodes breaking this down before, so if you want to go back, make sure you go to the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube channel that you're watching right now and go back in some of those episodes where I break down the rosters both offensively and defensively for the Atlanta Hawks over the decades, actually. Okay, go check it out. Let's start off with 2018, though. I think I got this time almost perfect. We'll see if I can make it, though. 2018, okay? 2018, Trae's rookie season, by the way, is 41-36 Portland right now, guys. Just to let you know this score in the Portland game. Thanks, Francis, for checking out the show. 2018, Trae's rookie year, he went 19-8. Rookie season, that was his worst season in the NBA comparatively. 19-8. John Collins averaged 19.5 points and 9.8 boards a game. Taurean Prince, 13 points a game. Kevin, 9.7 points a game. Dedmon, 10.8 points a game. Bays, the Bays, off the bench had 11 points a game. Bembry, 8 points. Alex Lynn, 11 points. Jeremy Lin Sanity himself, 10 points. Ben Sanity, same team, guys, 7.4 points a game. And then from there, Omari Spellman, who played 46 games, had 6 points a game. Poitras, who played 21 games, 5 points a game. Deontay Davis, who played 9 games, had 4 points a game. Jalen Adams, who played 34 games, had 3 points a game. Isaac Humphries played 5 games, had 3 points a game. Daniel Hamilton played 19 games, had 3 points a game. Justin Anderson played 48 games, had 3.7 points a game. Miles Plumlee, who played 18 games, had 4 points. Tyler Dorsey played 27 games, had 3 points a game. B.J. Johnson played 6 games. Tyler Zeller, 2 games. And Jordan Siebert played 1 game. That was the roster. The Atlanta Hawks that season scored 113 points a game and gave up 119 points a game. Please tell me which of those players, all those players I mentioned, okay, do you believe all of them were really good? All of them? Some of them? Handful? Who were the better players on that particular team, and who were some of the not so good players? The players that, hey, guess what? You think those players could help you win a championship? Do you think those players could help you get to the playoffs? From Omari Spellman down? Are we serious? Watching the game. Appreciate that, Francis. Call out some scores for me. 43-37, appreciate it. So, for the season, for the players that played at least 45 games, Omari Spellman, Taurean Prince, and Kent Bazemore had a worse plus minus than Trae Young that year. Did you know that? I think that's an interesting, occurrence right there, because I was told he must be the worst. Trae Young did have the worst defensive rating at 117, but Kevin had 116, John 115, Prince 115. So are we sure that Trae gave up 119 points by himself that particular season? 2019 season, Trae averaged 29 points and 9 assists. John Collins averaged 21 and 10. Hunter, he's arrived, 12 points a game. Kevin, 12 points a game. Cam, 10 points a game. Jabari Parker in his 32 games, 15 points a game. Dedmon, 8 points. Bembry, 6. Jeff Teague in his 25 games, 7 a game. Allen Crabbe in his 28 games, 5 points a game. Alex Lynn is still here in his 40 games, 8.7. Damian Jones in his 55 games, 5.6. Vince Carter in his 60 games played, 5. Evan Turner in his 19 games, 3. Bruno Fernando in his 56 games, 4. Brandon Goodwin in his 34 games, 6. Travion Graham, 22 games, 3 points. Tyrone Wallace, 14 games. Chandler Parsons, 5 games. Paul Watson, 2 games. And Charlie Brown Jr., he played 10 games. So Hawks scored 111 points a game. And guess what? They gave up 119 points a game again, back-to-back seasons. Now, again, who on this roster, besides your main core players, could you say was really able to help that team get to the playoffs? By the way, Hunter, Kevin, Cam, John, Bembry, Vince, Bruno all had worse plus minuses than Trae Young that season. The 2019 season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players. Defensive rating wise, Trae 117, Hunter 117, Kevin 116, Cam 115, John was pretty decent, 112. 8 players on the roster had a defensive rating of 116 or higher that season. Are you sure one player gave up 119 points a game? So here's going to be where it's really crazy, right? The very next season, after 2 seasons like that, giving up 119 points a game. Remember that number. The 2020 season, Trae Young averaged 25-9. First of all, the previous season, he averaged 29-9. Why did he average 25-9 the next season? I've dictated this a whole bunch. He had better players on his team. He didn't have to score as much as he used to. Bogey was there. Clint was there. John was dominating still. Hunter was getting into the groove a little bit. You have all these different players. Lou Will was there. And all of a sudden, the burden of him scoring, guess what? Down. His shots went down from like 20 to 17, 21 to 17 a game. By the way, his last season as a Hawk, he was shooting the ball like 13 times a game. Last year, he was shooting 18 times. Why? Because he had better players on his team. JJ was back. That was a big one. Had Porzingis there for a sprinkle, like 5 minutes, right? NAW is there. Luke, all these different. I'll get into that in the second episode. But anyway, let me get back to this. So the 2020 season, Trae averaged 25-9, Kevin 12 again. Clint, 15-14, his best season as a Hawk. Bogey, 16 a game. Hunter, 15 a game. John, 17-7. Cam, 11. Gallo, 13. Solo, 4. But we know what Solo was bringing to the table for his 4 points a game. Snell, in 47 games, 5 points. Lou Will, 24 games, 10 points. Rajon Rondo, 27 games, 4 points. Goodwin again in 47 games, 5 points. Okongwu in 50 games, 4 points. Chris Dunn played 4 games. Nathan Knight, 33 games, had 4 points. Skylar Mays still here, 33 games, 4 points. Bruno, for some reason, still there, 33 games, 1.5 points. In this particular season, plus minus, guys, Trae Young was +5. Kevin, Hunter, Clint, John, Solo, even Bogey were all in pluses that season. So how is that possible that all these guys could be in pluses plus Trae, and Trae is the worst? Cam was actually -3 and O was -5.6 that season. Don't know how to explain that. Defensive rating, Trae was 116, Kevin was 115, Clint 106, John 112 again, Solo 115, Bogey 114, Gallo 114, Hunter 114, Cam 113. The Atlanta Hawks in the 2020 season scored 113 points a game and gave up 111. The previous 2 seasons, they gave up 119 points and somehow figured out how to only give up 111 points. Want to know why? The sum of all parts. There it is. Well, there it is. 111. Which means, guess what? This team is competitive. This team can actually do a little something if they get to the playoffs. And what happened? They got to the playoffs. What did everybody do in the playoffs that year? Let's check that out. Trae, 28.8 points, 9.5 assists. Bogey, 14 a game. John, 13.9, basically 14. Clint, 10 points. Kevin, 11. Hunter, 10.8 points in the 5 games he played in the playoffs that year. Gallo, 12.8. Cam, 12.8 in the 4 games he played in the playoffs that year. Lou, 7.7. Solo, 1.2. O, 2.7. Snell's 0.6. Dunn, 1.2. Skylar, 1.1. Nathan, 0.7. And Bruno, 1 point a game. Now, if you want, go and look at the breakdowns of each playoff game in previous episodes of Around the ATL, where I went through the Knicks series, the Philly series, and the Bucks series, game for game, what everybody did. It's very interesting. Go check it out. Now, the 2021 season, okay, most teams that are normal, that are winners, if they make a conference final, but they didn't win it, they go out and they get a player or players plural, and they say, again, like I said earlier, we got to get over the hump. We got to, right? But what did I say earlier? Oh, the Hawks won too fast. Trae experienced this too quickly. He wasn't supposed to win this early in his 3rd season in the NBA. now we got to break it down. It's like Chris Jericho, break the walls down, right? Here's what the Atlanta Hawks did with their roster in 2021. I'm going to mention the returning players first. Trae Young, 28 points, 9.7 assists. Notice his points went back up, guys. John Collins, 16 points, 7.8 boards. Clint, 11 and 11. Hunter, 13. Kevin, 12. Bogey, 15. Cam, 11.9. Did I say Gallo? 11.7. Cam, by the way, played 34 games. Okongwu, 48 games, had 8 points. Lou Will, 6 points. Solo, 0.6, only played 13 games. It really did hurt us. Skyler, 2.9. Here's the rest of the players that played on the Atlanta Hawks roster that season. 2021, a year after making the Eastern Conference Finals. Chauncey Brown Jr. played 3 games. Weston Wundu played 3 games. Cameron Oliver played 2 games. Malcolm Hill played 3 games. TLC, don't go chase. No, not that TLC. He played 52 games and averaged 4 points, shooting 39% from the floor. What did I say? Jalen Johnson should have been getting all of his minutes. From what he was doing in College Park, Jalen Johnson should have been playing from jump, and we didn't let him do it, right? But anyway, Lance Stevenson, Lance will make you dance, Mr. Dart Liquor himself, played 6 games. Gorgie Jang played 44 games, 3.5 points a game. Kevin Knox played 17, 2 points a game. Cat Barber played 3 games. Sharif Cooper played 13 games. DeLon Wright played 77 games. He was okay. 4 points a game. Of course, Jalen Johnson played 22 games, 2.4 points a game. For the exception of DeLon Wright, give me an argument on how any of these players were going to help us get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, people. Can you give me an explanation on what bringing these players onto the roster was going to do after we had made the Eastern Conference Finals? I just want someone to explain the essence of how that was going to work. Because in the playoffs, it didn't work. John was hurt, played anyway, 24 minutes a game, 9 points, 4 boards. He wasn't on, he just couldn't play. Clint, he only played 2 games in that series with the Miami Heat. He averaged 2 points and 7 boards a game. Bogey didn't play game 5, but he was averaging 14 at least. Gallo, shooting 40% from the floor and 26 from 3. Kevin, shooting 36 from the floor and 29% from 3. Those were supposed to be our shooters. If we had them playing decent, we would have had a chance. Lou Will wasn't there. DeLon was there, though. He played pretty good, 8 points a game. TLC had 1 point a game in the 4 games he played, guys. Dieng had 1 point a game. Okongwu, 5 points and 5 boards. He played okay for the minutes he got. Kevin Knox played 2 games. Scholar had 1 point in his 2 games. Jalen didn't score at all. He barely played, so he couldn't score. He wasn't allowed to. Trae had 15 and 6 in his worst outing in the playoff because guess what? Coach Smo is smart. I'm not going to let Trae Young average 29 and 10 against me. I saw what he did against all those teams a year ago. I know he has all these players around him hurt. I'm going to dare somebody to play well. And it didn't happen. The only person who stepped up was Hunter because it wasn't Kevin Huerter, 9 points a game that series. Hunter averaged 21 a game. We just had a little bit from Kevin. We still might beat the Miami Heat because Trae did have a couple of okay games in there, 24 and 8 or whatever it was, and we won a game. We could have won another game, or maybe 2. Never know. We'll never know. But that was the playoffs for there. And only one player is put on full responsibility of everything. Nobody else around him, not Kevin, not Gallo. Those are our shooters, and they couldn't shoot. He keeps passing on the ball. Remember, Trae Young from 2018 till now has been 6th or higher in potential assists a game. That matters, guys. Just like Steve Holman said on my show earlier this year, Chris, that's a lot of missed shots. 21 potential assists a game. He led the NBA with 11 and a half assists a game last year. He led the league with 21 potential assists a game. That means if we could just hit a few more shots, we literally wouldn't lose half the games we lost last year. We lost 24 games by 10 points or less in the 2024 season, guys. Y'all don't think that matters at all? Who cares about the defense? Hit your shots and it wouldn't matter. We're blowing teams out. So, I'm going to talk about the 2022, 2023, and 2024 rosters in part 2. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully you'll check it out. Let's check the score real quick of this Portland game. Oh, we got the lead. We got, looks like, I don't know how far behind ESPN is on here, but it looks like we're up 56 to 52. Kongu looks like he has 10. Jalen has 8. Vit has 2. Daniels has 4. McCollum has 11. For Portland, Shaden Sharp is killing it, has 18. Who's guarding Shaden Sharp? Somebody needs to stick him. All right, back to the show. It's almost halftime. All right, so let's talk about some of our core players. Now, I'm only going to talk about 3. And in another episode, I might bring some more up, but I only want to talk about 3 tonight, okay? DeAndre Hunter, he is currently, as of the recording of this show, I should say, scoring about 14 points a game, okay? 42% from the floor, 31% from 3, okay? And I'm not sure what happened there because with the Hawks, he was killing it on 3s. I don't know what's happened. He's averaging about 4 boards a game, no steals, no blocks. Still not giving those Scotty Barnes numbers that I said he should be getting every year. Now, remember, his last season with the Hawks coming off the bench, he was 19 points a game. So in one season, he went from 19 points to 14 points, from 42% from 3 to 31% from 3. His defensive rating his last season with Atlanta was 119. Went to the Cavs, went up, 113. He's at 118 now. Is Hunter helping the Cavaliers win a championship? Yes or no? In the Cavs' most recent game, they put up 146 points on the Wolves. Hunter was 1 for 5, missed both of his threes, had 2 boards, 2 assists, and 4 points in that game. I don't know. Now, here's this part, and you need to listen to this. In all the years as a Hawk, Hunter never led the Atlanta Hawks in anything defensive. The closest he came was 3rd in defensive rebounding one year. If you're a true 3-and-D wing and a starter, shouldn't you be leading your team in something defensively? He was drafted 4th. We had to do stuff to get him. He was coming off a national championship where he was named Defensive Player of the Year in college basketball and the ACC. So we weren't supposed to have no expectations he was going to play defense in the NBA. None? Just throw that away. He was never first or second team, much less Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Here's the total number of games Hunter played each season as a Hawk. Okay. Actually, you know what? I missed that part. Oh well, can't do that one now. I knew it was going to be something I missed, but I can spitball this. Hunter, actually, I could do it in real time. Shoot, here we go. Have to think quick on the fly sometimes, guys, in radio. Let's see. Here we go. DeAndre Hunter as an Atlanta Hawk. 63 games, 23 games, 53 games, 67 games, 57 games. 37 games. And then he was traded. So Hunter never played 75 games in a season as an Atlanta Hawk. You don't think that matters cumulatively, how many games he missed as an Atlanta Hawk? It matters a lot. All right, let's get back to my notes. So, defensive ratings by year: 117, 114, 117, 119, 121. He was tied with Trae Young that year. 117, 119. And as I mentioned before with the Cavs, 113, and he's currently at 118. That's his defensive rating. Here is his total blocks by year as an Atlanta Hawk. Thanks for the update. 56 Hawks are up 56-54 on Portland, y'all. Here are DeAndre Hunter's blocks by season: 18, 12, 21, 17, 16, and 5. Then he had 8 for the Cavs, and this year he has 5 blocks for the entire season. Steals per year: 44, 19, 36, 35, 40, and 31. Then 19 for the Cavs. This year he has 23 so far. Rebounds per game: 4.5, 4.8. That was his highest. 3.3, 4.2, 3.9, 3.9. He's at 4.2 from last year with the Cavs, and now he's at 4.5. So almost 5 a game. Did you know that in Hunter's rookie season, he slightly had more rebounds than Trae in 2019? Hunter was at 4.8. Trae is at 4.3. 2 times Trae had more blocks in the season than Hunter. And every year Trae has had more steals than Hunter. Let me ask y'all a strange question. Let me ask y'all, because I had someone tell me that Trae Young is the reason that Hunter used to get hurt all the time. Someone said that, okay? So was Trae responsible for DeAndre Hunter hurting his left shoulder on November 8, 2019, or his knee on November 26, 2019, or his finger in December 2nd, 2019, his foot January 11, 2020, his finger January 13, 2020, his ankle January 31st, 2020, his other ankle February 6, 2020, another ankle, I don't know how many ankles this guy has, in February 8, 2020, his ankle again in February 11, 2020, his ankle again in February 19, 2020, personal reasons, there's nothing wrong with that. February 21st, 2020, abdominal, February 25th, 2020, his knee, March 8, 2020, his right knee, December 31st, 2020, his knee again, January 23rd, 2021, his right knee, January 30th, 2021, knee again, March 26th, 2021, injury management, skip that one, June 1st, 2021, his knee, June 5th, 2021, knee, 10/25/21, it's Trae's fault he got sick. 11/11/21, his wrist. 11/13/21, his wrist again. 1/25/2022, his back. 1/29/2022, his ankle again. 2022 February, his ankle. Illness 2022 February. Illness again November 21st, 2022, his hip November 30th, 2022, his ankle again December 26, 2022, asthma. It's Trae's fault that he got asthma. January 23rd, 2023. His ankle again, February 14, 2023. His knee again, March 24th, 2023. His knee again, March 30th, 2023. April 8th, 2023. His knee again, 12/10/2023. His quad. His knee again, December 17th, 2023. His knee again, December 22nd, 2023. Injury management, February 1st, 2024. Rest, 2024, February 4th. Knee again, February 6th, 2024. Injury management, February 8th, 2024. His knee again, February 10th, 2024. And then April 10th, 2024, rest. All of that's Trae's fault. All of it. I'm about to post 2 episodes I did on DeAndre Hunter on Around the ATL. Some of you have seen it, but I'm going to repost it for those who might want to check it out. Hopefully this works. Let's see. Episodes on Hunter, and go check those out. Just take a look. Just take a browse. because he was one of our core members of this team. And nobody ever says anything about it. Kevin Huerter, Red Mamba. If some of you remember, I coined that Red Mamba. I use it all the time. Wrote articles, I used that term because I really felt that Kevin Huerter was going to be our shooting guard of the future. I felt it. I was that guy backing him up until I couldn't, until I realized he was never going to average more than 12 points a game in the season. He wasn't going to do it. At that point, I was like, yeah, we got, because he don't play enough defense to manage 12 points a game. He plays no defense. I actually did an episode showing his first 30 games of his last season as a Hawk. I'm going to post this now. I showed you not only what he did in those games, but what everybody else was doing in those games and the win-loss and the final score to show you this is impact. This is why it matters. Not what it ain't what you know, it's what you can prove. You think he's doing this, but this is actually what he's doing on the court. Episode on Kevin Huerter. So check that out. Put that in the group chat. Clint Capella. Excuse me. Clint Capella. So I've done several episodes about the center position in Atlanta. A couple of episodes in regards to Clint. Remember, Clint came in like gangbusters. He helped the Hawks get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but it hadn't been great since then. Currently, Clint is over in Houston. He's 3.6 points, 4.6 boards a game for the Houston Rockets, right? He had that 2020. It was a great year, 15 and 14. But after that, like I said, defensive rebounds started going down, okay? So here's his defensive rating from 2020 to his last year as a Hawk. 106, 109, 112, 115, 113. Pretty good, okay? Clint's defensive boards per year as a Hawk. 9.6, 8.1, 7.1, 6, 5.4. So like I said, decline. Total boards per game. 14 a game, 11.9, 11, 10.6, 8.5. Again, decline. Now, his offensive rebounds pretty much stayed the same. About 4 for his career, 4 a game. It's pretty good. Blocks per game, 1.4. People can contest whether or not that's good or bad. I'll get to that. I might get to that in a bit. Points per game, 15, 11, 12, 11.5, 8.9. Plus minus each year as a Hawk. 7.4, 3.7, minus 0.5, minus 0.6, minus 3.1. So again, decline. Clint's field goal percentage each year, 59, 61, 65, 57, 55. But remember, Clint took no threes ever. He's 0% from 3. So if he didn't hit the point blank, he wasn't hitting nothing. And also he was a bad free throw shooter. Now, one thing that I also want to mention, the people in the East that Clint primarily had to go against a lot. Clint against Joel Embiid, 13 points and 13 boards a game. Pretty decent. But Joel against Clint's 25 and 9 and 3 assists a game. Joker is 20, 11, and 7 against Clint. AD, 24, 10, and 3 blocks against Clint. Cat, 24, 13, and 3 assists against Clint. Vucevic, 16, 11, or actually 11.9, so 16 and 12 and 3 assists. Those assists matter, by the way. Wemby, 28 and 10 and 4 blocks. 8 and 16 and 10. Let me post these shows about the center position real quick. And I'm almost finished. I did pretty decent. All right, episodes on Clint. And these are just 3 of the core players, just 3 guys. Let's see. And because again, you need all context because there was more than one person on the roster all this time. And I think a lot of people just, again, there's a lot of people who've never watched a Hawks game in their life. They've never been to a Hawks game. See, I've been to some Hawks games. I've been there in person, seeing these people swag surf while we're down 30. I've seen it, okay? A lot of people just ignore things. They just ignore it. They close their eyes. They're blind to it. All right, here's some episodes in regards to the center position in Clint. Check that out. So last season, well, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I might have to. We'll see. Last season, in 2024, the Atlanta Hawks were 23rd in defensive rebounding. The Hawks were 21st in points in the paint given up, 13th in second chance points, 21st in fast break points, 27th in three-point percentage given up, 25th in three-pointers given up. One player can't do that. That's a team effort. But let me change something up real quick. And this is where I might end up finishing this, and I might do this in the second episode. I might do 3 parts of this. I don't know. We'll see. Do you realize or remember that Dyson Daniels, in his first year as a starter, remember, Dyson Daniels had never started before. But in his first year as a starter, he won most improved, first team all defense, and he was a runner-up in defensive player of the year playing with Trae Young. That happened. That really occurred. Jalen Johnson was averaging 18 and 10 last year, which would have made his first All-Star game happen playing with Trae Young. Remember, Jalen also has only played 1 season of 70 games so far. Just think about, excuse me, just think about how different Hawks history would be if Jalen Johnson had been able to play 75 games per season. Again, think about if Hunter had been able to play 75 games a season throughout his career. How much different Hawks history would be if somebody who's averaging 14 points a game was actually on the floor every night. Do you realize that Okongwu, finally getting the start, went from 12 points, 9 boards a game to 15 and 10 in February and 15 and 11 in March, and then 16 and 10 in April last year, 10.6, so really 16 and 11, playing with Trae Young. Okongwu did that playing with Trae Young. How is all that possible? Trae is so detrimental. And remember, it was Trae and Okongwu that showed up in that Miami play-in game. He had 28 and 12, while Trae had 29 and 11. And by the way, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here it is. I'm going to talk about it later, but I'm going to post it now real quick. I showed you what happened in that overtime, shot for shot. I'm going to go ahead and post it now because I might not do the rest of this tonight. Miami OT in the play-in game. Oh, let me read. Review of the Miami OT in the play-in last year. Yeah, that's better. Check that out. Because we gave up 17 points in that overtime. I want y'all to look for that yourself. But if it wasn't for Trae, we wouldn't even have gotten to overtime because Yang was shooting terrible in that fourth quarter. Y'all saw it for yourselves. But only Trae is blamed for that game, right? The Hawks went 17 and 21 last year in 2024 when JJ went down. Let me repeat that. The Hawks went 17 and 21 once JJ went down last year. And that's important to note because of who else was on the roster to where we still ended up with 40 wins, right? Because the Hawks finished 40 and 42. They didn't fall completely apart. And I'm going to show that a little bit later. But if JJ was healthy, had a few better defenders on the bench, last year would have been completely different. That did not happen, though. And JJ wasn't the only one who was hurt last year, too. Remember that. Right? And so, you know what? I'm going to end it here because this is the hour mark. So this is what I'm going to do. in the next episode, I'm going to pick up here. I'm going to kind of briefly go through where I was going to end up here and then go, because what I'm about to do is go through the last 22 games of the 2024 season, because really, you got to know these things in history. Because those 22 games speak a lot of where this organization, where they were in their head, and they could see it, but they didn't do anything about it. And that's been their history from Dominique Wilkins all the way up. They see it, but they don't do anything about it. There was a blurb, I can't remember, it was an interview, how the Hawks could have got Dell Curry to play along with Dominique and them. You imagine having Dell Curry, a sharpshooter that he was, playing with. Can you imagine? We didn't do it though. And Hawks history is littered with stories like that. Who we could have had, but this is who we got. We could have did this, but we got Adam Keefe instead. We could have, but we got Priest Lauderdale instead. We could have, but we got Keith Benson instead. We could have, but we went and got Chris Crawford instead. We're loaded with stories like that, right? Speedy Claxton is the man. We're still paying him under the table, I swear. So the next episode, I'm going to start off about approximately right here. I'm going to talk about the last 22 games of the 2024 season. Okay. And then after that, let's see. Oh, actually, well, I guess I was kind of close. So yeah, after that, then I'm going to talk about the 2025 season. I'm going to talk about Trae's first 5 games of the season, his last 5 games of the season. I'm going to talk about his career, and then we're going to talk about the future. What's next? Okay, so that's going to be part 2. I think I should be able to do all that. I think so. So that being said, make sure you check out the previous episodes. Make sure you check out the previous game reviews on Around the ATL on the IMTN Worldwide Radio page. I do plan on doing a Falcons episode very soon because of all the cool stuff that's happening in Falcons history. Finally, just took 2 decades to get rid of Rich McKay, right? Just horrible. We were just held back like that. But again, this particular episode was the start of a 2-part where I want to break down, because for the people who've never watched Hawks basketball before, they're just saying a lot of weird stuff. And it shouldn't be like that to an extent, okay? After this, though, you're not going to hear me really talk about Trae Young anymore, okay? I am, however, going to finish up my game reviews of all the games that he didn't play in that we lost. Believe that, because you need to see it. We lost those games. We didn't squeak out wins. We gave up 118 to 140 points in a game 14 times, guys, and we only won 1 of those games. Isn't that alarming to somebody? Gave up 3 games of 140 points or more without him on the court? Isn't that a little bit alarming? You see what I'm saying? Like, we just got beat by the Lakers for no reason. There's no reason we should have got beat by the Lakers. The game before that had 2 starters combined for 3 points. We let Marcus Smart get 16 points? How? And people don't want to say what they need to say is that person wasn't playing defense, and that person wasn't playing defense, and that person definitely wasn't playing defense, because then the dialogue would be better. But you don't want to do that. You just shrug your shoulders and be like, oh, they were due to get blown out again by 140? Stop. Let's check the score real quick. It is 65-62 Hawks. Let's see. Looks like Okongwu has 16 points. Jalen has 10. NAW has 9. Vit is at 2. Dyson is at 8. Meanwhile, Shaden Sharp has 20. Everybody else looks kind of normal. I don't want to get into the box score. Well, I can get into the box score real quick since I'm on here already. Let's see who else is playing tonight. Let's see. Corey has 3. Moji has 3. CJ has 11. And Luke Kennard has 3. Nobody else is going to play this game. So still close, third quarter. That being said, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you enjoyed this particular episode. Again, this is part 1 of 2. Tomorrow night, I'm going to finish up going through some of these past seasons, and then I'm going to get into the present, and then I'm going to go into the future. So hopefully you stay with me, because, again, you need to always have full context. You need to have context in sports. You need to have facts, not just fiction, people just saying stuff out loud just for the sake of saying it. No, you need to have something to back it up. Back it up, right? Again, make sure you check out some of the game reviews. They're very detailed. They're very cool. I will be back very soon. So that being said, this is around the ATL for, what day is this? It's still the 15th of January. This is around the ATL, all nights, all sports, all Atlanta. And yes, I am going to be changing the intro at a certain point in time when I get time to do it. Because guess what? Got players ain't on the team no more. I'm going to have to do it with some of the other sports as well, obviously. I'll work on that when I can. In the meantime, I'm going to get out of here. Let's see if I can at least get this right, because I haven't been on in a while. I appreciate y'all's support with me being down for a minute. I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh, here we go. All right, so y'all take care. And again, there's a new era in Atlanta, and I want a championship. Because as I've said before, we need to win a championship this year, next year, or at the very worst, 3 years from now. Because otherwise, what are we doing? Jalen Johnson can't be 30 years old here and still don't have no championship. Can we at least agree to that? And worst case scenario, you can't have the Wizards go win a championship, can you? That would be a disaster of all disasters, right? We have to win a championship, right? So we got to make some moves because, right now we're not in championship form yet. So we got to do it quick, though. Got to do it quick, all right? All right, that being said, let me get out of here, guys. I think I can get this right. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect, around the AT.